Now a little more, why don't we, about Hillary Clinton's longtime aide who's playing the role of Donald Trump during her mock debates. A Democratic source tells Fox News Felipe Reigns is very good at, as the source puts it, verbal combat. A new article out from Politico headlined "How Hillary Chose Her Donald" reports the fill-in Trump is a bachelor in D.C. whose two cats are named after Saddam Hussein's sons, Uday and Qusay, because why not? Politico uses the words colorful and combative to describe him. Clinton has reportedly told people she likes Reigns, quote, because he makes me laugh. Nomiki Konst is here. She's a Democratic strategist and host of The Filter on Sirius XM. From all these Republicans, it sounds like she's just losing everything everywhere. I mean, they're out here saying all the toss-up states are going the other way, and she's sinking and he's rising, and what say you?
I think that everybody's trying to set expectations right now going in. The reality is she's the closest to the number that she needs to hit, which is 270, and she may not be winning by large margins in some of these states, and she might be down by 4% in Ohio or in Florida where it's a margin of error. But the reality is the campaign is just beginning. They're going into this debate, and people are going to be looking for issues. They're going to be looking for answers to the problems. They've had enough of the circus. They've had enough of all the games being played back and forth. This is a time when Donald Trump needs to come up and show that he has the chops to be president. Not just the chops to make fun of other candidates, to swipe them on stage, back and forth like he's a boxer. This is like a real serious job here. So he has to be prepared. And I think that, if you look at the other debates, he was dividing and conquering. He didn't win the majority of Republicans. And he was competing against 17 other candidates. So when you're dividing and conquering, you don't have an overwhelming majority of support from your own party. I don't know how he's going to be able to take on Hillary Clinton one-on-one.
A couple of polls I want to show you. One is full screen one. Same for both political guests. Do you plan to watch the first debate between Clinton and Trump? 74% of registered voters say they plan to watch this thing. That would, if that happens, that breaks all television records.
Yep.
But does it sway anyone? I mean, the history books don't show massive moves, or even slight ones in some cases, on the heels of debates, though this one I'm sure will be a little different.
Well, it always comes down to those independent swing voters, the women, and battleground states. What divides people in Ohio right now, if Hillary wants to win over 4% of voters, she could talk about environmental politics, because 7% of Democratic voters turn out just on environmental politics. So she needs to get those people out. If she wants to reach out to millennials, that's why she cares about millennials right now. Because the stakes are so high, the numbers are so tight, and it's not just the traditional swing voters in these battleground states. Each battleground state has their own set of issues that they care about. And Hillary needs to speak to those people. Forget about Donald Trump's games. Just ignore them. Don't go into that rabbit hole. I think that's what's really important for her in her preparation.
Two more. Full screen three. Pennsylvania head-to-head. This one's really interesting, I think. September the 12th through the 16th, 46% for Clinton, 37% for Trump. And now 44% for Clinton and 41% for Trump. So you might be asking, how did this happen? Full screen four might answer that for you. Trump support. This is Republicans alone. Only 71% supported him then. 85% now. How did he do that? How'd that happen?
He hired a real team. He started listening to them. He realized the stakes were high.
Suburbs of Philly. Basically is where it's decided,
exactly.
Right?
That's where it's going to be decided in Philadelphia. And for Democrats, it's about turnout. So she needs to be, she has 90% support among African Americans in Pennsylvania right now. That's more than Barack Obama. If she can get those people to the polls, she'll win. Undoubtedly. If she gets young people to the polls, she'll win. It's all about turnout more than ever in this election cycle. The difference between Donald Trump and, say, previous candidates, John McCain, is that John McCain had the whole Republican Party. Donald Trump doesn't have his party. And if any of them go to Hillary, that hurts him. Any of them.
Especially in those swing states. Ohio, is Ohio his now?
I think it's still within the margin of error here. So there's a real chance.
And what about Iowa?
Iowa is a changing state. There's a large minority population that's growing in Iowa. There's a lot of young people. There are quite a few college campuses. I think there's a real opportunity for Hillary to go out there, bring her surrogates, like Barack Obama, the president, or Joe Biden into Ohio. That's how you speak to those voters who may not traditionally have voted for the secretary in the past,
Yeah.
whether it was against Barack Obama or in the primary. So I think she needs to be using these surrogates very strategically, sending out specific messages about how she's going to be carrying on President Obama's legacy.
The one I like to watch the most is Florida because of all the history
Yeah.
and all the fun we've had there. But there's this very large non-Cuban Hispanic population that has moved to Florida along the I-4 corridor in the Orlando area. There's this solid, hardcore Trump crowd in the Panhandle and beyond. And if you can get that Hispanic group out, you can win Florida. But if you energize this white, more rural vote in northwestern Florida, you can win too. So I just don't know who's coming to the polls.
I don't know either. I think that it's very hard for everyone to measure, and it's really about ground operation. If Donald
Well, she
Trump
wins ground operation on paper.
I hope so. I mean, if Donald Trump, that's the problem with him not having Republican Party support. If there are still reluctant Republicans in certain districts that don't want to attach their image as an elected politician to Donald Trump, that hurts Donald Trump at the polls in those localities. Hillary Clinton has every single Democratic elected official in America going out there and campaigning for her, and they listen. I mean, that's how it worked in New York. She had all these New York leaders go to their districts and say, turn out for Hillary. That's how we're going to win the Senate. That's how we're going to get the Supreme Court support, still a Democratic-leaning Supreme Court. This is how we preserve our rights. But you have to rely on surrogates, and he doesn't have all the surrogates right now.
All right. Nomi Keith-Hans, thank you.
Thanks, Jeffrey.